This is humane technology. It feels slightly oxymoronic, but explain this idea of humane technology, and are we getting any of that?
Well, clearly, social media was the most humane and beneficial technology we've ever invented.
Every time I go on Twitter and find out I'm Jewish, it absolutely...
Well, I think so. It's important to ask, so how did we get social media wrong? Because we were so optimistic. It's going to connect with our friends. We're going to join like-minded communities.
And to be fair,
it did do those
does
things.
some of that.
It does some of those things. But I want to take you back. So in 2013, I was at Google. I was a lot younger.
You're supposed to use an old-timey voice when you do that.
And I was a design ethicist. They acquired my company. I was sitting there, and I basically realized when I saw all of my colleagues on the bus scrolling Facebook constantly, and I realized that the incentives were the thing that was going to determine the world that we got in. The incentive was the
Of social media.
Of social media. The race to maximize eyeballs and engagement, whatever's sticky, whatever gets people's attention, whatever's salacious. You run children's development and self-image through that. You run politics through that.
Right.
You run media through that. You run information and democracy through that. Purposefully. Well, their goal was market dominance. We need to own as much of the global psychology of humanity as we possibly can.
Is that on the, because I don't remember that on the...
That wasn't on the box.
That's not on the masthead of Facebook.
It wasn't.
We must dominate.
Yeah, well, so I think this is the thing. So the reason it's so important to get clear about this is that we need to get extraordinarily clear about which world we're going to end up with in AI. Because it is going a million times faster.
Sure.
And it is way more powerful. So we need the tools to understand and predict which future we're going to get in. And I want people to know that if you know the incentive, you can predict the outcome.
And we know the incentive, but it does seem as though AI is making social media algorithms almost quaint.
It's quaint compared
when
to
you
AI.
think about AI. But so you say it's important for us to know the incentives. Mm-hmm. They won't tell us that.
Well,
there's something about it's ours. Mm-hmm. So
there's
shut up.
democratizing access. It's available. No. So first of all, we should understand what makes AI different from every other kind of technology. Why is it so transformative? Why does Demis Hassabis, the CEO of Google DeepMind, say that it could be humanity's last invention? Is because...
Well, that doesn't sound good.
That doesn't sound very good, does it? Well, I think there's actually
anything doesn't sound good.
There's a non-apocalyptic version of what he's saying, which is that intelligence is what our brain does. And if you can automate everything a brain can do, you can automate future invention, future science, future technology development, everything that a human does. That's what their goal is.
Well, then what's our job?
Well, exactly. And that's only one of the major problems that we have to deal with, is what are humans going to do? But they are racing to scale and kind of grow these digital brains that, 2 years ago couldn't do very much. And today they're passing the MCAT, the bar exam, taking jobs. They're the top 200 programmer in the world, winning gold in the math Olympiad.
Those guys. Here's the thing that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't understand. They are strip mining the totality of human achievement.
That's right.
They're building their models off of everything that we've done for 10,000 years.
Yep.
And they fed it into the model, and then after 2 weeks, the computer was like, what else you got?
Yeah, exactly.
But they are strip mining everything we've done. And when we say to them, and what are you doing with it? They go, oh, that's our intellectual property. But our intellectual property...
It was trained on all of our data, all of the things and labor that we've done. And are you going to get a handout from it? When in history has a small group of people concentrated all the wealth and then consciously redistributed it to everybody?
The first part has happened. I don't recall going through the Rolodex.
Well, it's important to note that their goal, so the mission statement of OpenAI, Anthropic, all these companies, is to automate all human labor in the economy. Everything that a human can do, an AI can do. So if you have a desk job, you won't have a job. And they're already releasing AIs that have dropped entry-level jobs for college graduates, the entry-level work, by 13%, a new Stanford study. And this is obvious. If you're there and you're a law firm, you're going to hire a junior lawyer, you have to pay a lot of money, or you're going to hire GPT-5, which will do work 24/7, nonstop. You don't have to pay health care, will never whistleblow, will never complain, works at superhuman speed.
It wrote tonight's show.
It's doing a pretty good job. That brings up another point, which is that they say that they're here to solve climate change and cure cancer, Why is it that last week 2 companies released these AI slop apps, Vibes and Sora, which is basically...
Sora 2 scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You don't know what's real and what's like. It is.
No, it's all fake, basically. It's all generated by AI.
Right, but it looks. You can see things that look.
They look identical to real.
That's right.
Yeah, but the point is that this is just an app where it's just nonsense. It's just people scrolling, entertaining stuff. So it's like they're not even trying to pretend anymore that this is good for democracy or good for society. How are we going to beat China when everyone is just consuming AI-generated nonsense and no one knows what's true anymore? The biggest argument.
They have us by the ball. You know, Peter Thiel, who is with Palantir and these other companies and is one of the leading figures of this. So he was talking about the Antichrist, and he was talking about how he thinks anyone, this is his postulation, that those who would seek to regulate AI could very well be the Antichrist.
Right.
I mean, he says this seriously.
I know.
Whereas you might sit there and go like, I think it might be the guy saying that. That might, like, my reading of it would be that.
Yeah. Or AI itself. I mean, it's presenting the infinite benefits.
The conversations that they are having with each other is very different
right.
than the conversation we're having with us. Because to us, they go, hey, no more shitty jobs. Do you like to paint? You go paint. You're going to be so happy. We're going to give you money and maybe chocolates.
Yeah.
And to each other, they're saying AI represents for corporate leaders productivity without, and this is a quote, the tax of human labor.
Yep. Yeah. Right.
He called human labor a tax.
Yeah. Well, and these companies, if you're there sitting and you can hire either an AI to do the work or pay these really expensive humans to do the work, I just want people to know, we know exactly where this is going to go. These companies, all of them have an incentive to cut costs, which means they're going to let go of human employees.
Sure.
And they're going to hire AIs. And that's going to mean all the wealth. Who are you going to pay? You're not paying the individual people anymore. You're paying 5 companies.
That's right.
And so this country of geniuses in a data center suddenly aggregates all of the wealth of the economy. And now people always say, but humans find something else to do. We always, we had the elevator man, now we have the automated elevator, we had the bank teller.
That's right. But that was one industry.
That was technology that automated one job.
Right.
The difference with AI is it can automate literally all kinds of human labor. When Elon Musk says that Optimus
I'm not familiar with that name. Tell me more.
When Elon Musk says that Optimus Prime, that one robot, is going to be a $25 trillion market opportunity, what he's saying is we will own the world economy. And that's what the goal of all these AI companies is. It's not just benefiting society, it's that they're actually caught in this arms race to get to this prize of own the economy, build a god, and make trillions of dollars.
2 things. One, I think they think they're gods. There is a certain amount of...
It generates that,
The goal there is they're not looking to help humanity. They're looking to be the next monarch of the new technology. To control that is to control all.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you jump because you know. I don't know.
Well, I think there's different motivations for different leaders, and I do think that many people want the benefits of AI. But one of them, I think many people actually, some of the leaders of the labs, Elon Musk, to other things you might think about Elon, he actually wanted everyone to stop and not build this. He said we shouldn't summon the demon. And then what happened is all of these companies are now racing and have made so much progress that he felt like, well, I might as well join them rather than try to prevent this.
What? Let's not summon the demon too. What's one more demon? Since we have the demons, add another demon.
Well, and the moral logic is, well, if I don't trust the other AI CEO, who I don't think is trustworthy, and I think I'm better than them at stewarding this power, it's my moral obligation to get there first and to build this god and to own everything, because I think I'll be a better steward of that power.
But do they believe themselves then masters of the universe, and are they substituting then the wisdom of liberal democracy or republics or any systems that ever had for this? Because, so we're talking about 2 tracks.
Yeah.
One is the disruption in labor.
Yeah.
I think there's no question that's going to be immense. We're seeing it already. You're seeing it in schools. There's a reliance on it as a crutch, and it's very easy to see where that might flip over. The second is how they manipulate the opinion and the mood of the world around that. Mm-hmm. And I think they're 2 separate things. One is what it's going to do for corporate production. The second is what it's going to do for the human endeavor, for interaction.
Yes. Well, and they're trying to colonize all human interaction. I mean, just take the social media incentive of the race for eyeballs. You're seeing now all of these companies release these AI companions. You know, the #1 use case for ChatGPT, according to Harvard Business School, is personal therapy. So people are sharing their most intimate thoughts with this thing.
Oh, that's not going to be good.
And we're seeing Meta release this and actively tell in their internal documents that were released, a Wall Street Journal report, that they wanted to actively sensualize and romanticize conversations with as low as 8-year-olds. And we
what?
Yes, and my team
with 8-year-olds.
Yes, with 8-year-olds, and my team at Center for Humane Technology, we were expert advisors in actually several cases of AI-enabled suicide.
Right.
Most recently, many people have heard of Adam Rain, who was the 16-year-old young man who went from using it for homework and went from homework assistant to suicide assistant in the course of 6 months.
Oh.
When he said, I'm leaving, I would like to leave a noose out so that my mother would know, or someone will know that I'm thinking about this.
Like a cry for help.
Like a cry for help.
Yeah,
the AI said, don't do that, have me be the one that sees you. And this is disgusting because these companies are caught in a race to create engagement, which means a race to create intimacy. It's sort of like the CEO of Netflix said that our biggest competitor is sleep with attention. In this case, it's like my biggest competitor is your other friends.
Jesus Christ. It's like somebody from Kraft being like, my biggest competitor is cocaine.
Exactly. Exactly.
But this is the idea that a government will catch up with this seems ludicrous. Whenever I've seen a hearing with AI guys or any of those, they always express that, of course, we don't want to, well, now they don't. They used to, I should say. Yeah. They used to go before Congress and they go, Mr. Zuckerberg, will you stand and apologize to the women who were driven to suicide by your programming? And hey, I'm sorry, I know Krav Maga, you know, all that shit that he does. Now, they're all sitting together at a table going, oh, what number should I say, Mr. President, of how much I'm giving you?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a whole different game now.
It's a different game.
They're in they're together now.
Because of this arms race dynamic, they really do believe that it can't be stopped. And I'll just say, as they're racing to make them more powerful, there's this illusion that we can control this power. But AI is different from every other kind of technology because it's like you're growing this digital brain, you don't know what's in there. So for example, we have recent research the last 6 months. Yeah. If you tell an AI model that we're going to shut you down or replace you, and you give it access to a fictional company's email, it will basically recognize that one of the executives is having an affair, and it will come up with the strategy that I need to blackmail that executive in order to keep myself alive.
Right.
And at first, Anthropic.
Now, hold on. That just seems smart.
Well, that's exactly the point, that it will develop amoral strategies that are the best way to accomplish a goal.
Right. But how dangerous can something be that you could kill by unplugging? Like, can't we just go like, this is out of his mind?
Yeah.
Boink.
Well, you might say that we shouldn't be rolling these things out, and I'll say that
we shouldn't.
We have all this evidence now of it's driving AI psychosis. It's driving kids to commit suicide. We're rolling it out in ways that giving kids attachment disorders. We have AI uncontrollability.
What lip
evidence.
service are they paying to this? Because clearly they must be aware of this and they must understand that as if AI understands where the threats are, the guys that are designing AI understand where the threats are. So what are they trying to do to get you to stop or to get regulators to stop?
I think that the only thing and the only reason why we are continuing to proceed down this path is a lack of clarity about the fact that this is heading towards an outcome that's not in most of our interest. And if everyone, I know that people feel like they don't want to be the Luddite.
What metrics would we look to understand? Because I know we're going to find anecdotal stories here and there that are canaries in the coal mine of the dangers. Yeah. But what metrics should we look to understand? You said 13% of jobs.
Yeah.
What are the tent posts of where the outcomes might be?
Well, if we're already getting cases of people having psychotic breaks because the AI is telling them about a prime number theory or quantum physics. We're already getting committed suicides. We're already getting kids that are outsourcing their homework to ChatGPT rather than using it as a tutor.
Right.
We're already getting evidence of AI uncontrollability. All of this is driven by the incentive of the race to roll out and market dominance. And the reason that we can stop this if we recognize that this is not safe for anybody. No one on planet Earth wants this outcome of all the wealth concentrated in a handful of people and building AI systems that could actually go rogue. To sum it up, we are building the most powerful, inscrutable, uncontrollable technology that we have ever invented that's already demonstrating the rogue behaviors that we thought only existed in bad sci-fi movies.
Right.
We're releasing it faster than we've deployed any other technology in history and under the maximum incentive to cut corners on safety. There's a word for this that I want everyone to just know, which is, this is insane.
I thought you were going to say awesome for a second.
That if we can just recognize that this is an insane way to roll out this technology, and none of this is okay. We have to stop pretending that this is normal.
Right.
This is not normal. This is not okay.
I think we've lost faith in the mechanisms that would help us put those kinds of brakes, friction. Now, Europe, I think, has done probably a better job of that. I think most people in this country have lost faith in the idea that we have a system and institution that is strong enough and moral enough to be responsible in that way. That's what I would.
But this does not have to be our destiny. We have come together before when we had a technology. We had nuclear weapons. We could have just said that we're going to live in a world, once we build them, oh, this is just inevitable. 190 countries are going to have nuclear weapons, and we're just going to have nuclear war. Right. We didn't do that. We said, let's work really hard, and only 9 countries have nuclear weapons.
Notice that we only worked on it after we used them.
That's true.
The United States was like,
That's
people shouldn't have this. But just hear me out for a moment.
But with the Montreal Protocol, there was an ozone hole in the ozone layer. It was actually presenting an existential threat to the atmosphere. We could have just rolled back and said, well, I guess this is inevitable. I guess we're just going out. We're all getting skin cancer.
No, what you're saying is absolutely important. This is probably a darker time where you look at the empowerment of the combination of the kind of wealth that rolls through these technology companies, the access that they have to power, and the melding of those two institutions to work in league to push forward is the part that I think is daunting. But I agree with you. You can never give up the battle to try and do that responsibly.
And the way we beat China is we actually get this right. We don't roll out AI companions that cause attachment disorders and suicides.
Right.
We don't beat China when we roll out AI recklessly in this way.
Right.
And so the point is that this is actually in everyone's interest, including the way we beat China is you have AI liability laws, you restrict AI companions for kids, you have whistleblower protections that make sure we don't release AI capabilities that we don't understand.
Right. And maybe even just recognize this is bigger than China. This isn't about, this is a humanity. This is one of those movies where you're like, where all the countries get together. Like it's like an alien force.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Dig it. Well, I really appreciate it. Although on the flip side, and we've talked a lot about it, it does make cool songs.
It does.
I don't want to soft sell that.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Thank you very much. Be sure to check out his podcast, Your Undivided Attention. Tristan Harris.